Is sponsored Source Wallet to store Bitcoin, Monero, and Litecoin securely on mobile and desktop devices. When buying, selling, and exchanging crypto or trading for gift cards, Cake Wallet ensures privacy and security, giving you the keys to your coins. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Randi Hipper Show. I'm your host, here again on a lovely Tuesday for the second stream today. We are going to talk about someone amazing, but before we get to him, make sure you guys smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and share the stream out with friends so you can learn more about today's guest. And let's make sure we hit those 100 likes and those 100 live viewers, because I know we could get after it on a Tuesday afternoon. Now, let's waste no time. Let's get to today's amazing guest, none other than the hype, the Zype, the Zesty. Doug, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm amazing, Randy. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. This is like a dream come true to be on the #1 YouTube show in all the land.
Yes. I'm very happy to have you. And also make sure you guys are checking out our sponsors, eToro and Cake Wallet. Make sure you guys do that really quick. Sorry, I had to shout them out. But also, it's amazing to have you, Doug, because you have a lot of experience in production. And I feel like there's so many people in Web3. And that's really what I love about the space, is that it doesn't matter where you come from, your socioeconomic status, your gender, your age, your background. We all end up in this one community for the same reason, and that is self-sovereignty, being able to bridge new technologies together, and coming from, where you're specialized, which is production. We need to be able to market more. And I want to talk about marketing in Web3 and your journey with marketing over the years. But before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of a rewind with you, Doug. And we're going to go back to high school, Doug. What did you think your life was going to turn into? Where did you think your career was going?
Well, that's a really good question, because when I was younger, I was very much into sports and competition and fun things. And I was the captain of my high school football team, all this stuff, right? And I feel like that energy needed to roll into something. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do then, but I knew I was really into filmmaking. And so I wanted to do something exciting and fun. And I thought I would end up actually in the NFL at some point, playing football even.
No way.
Yeah, I was I'm a very skilled person, Randy. I have skills, you know what I'm saying? When I can do all these things, but the question is, do I have a good 40 time? No, I don't. Okay. So you need like a 4.3 40 time to make an NFL. All right. But I love tests of willpower and camaraderie with other people, teamwork, all that stuff is amazing. That's kind of what high school prepares you for in the real world, is just working with people a little bit, all that stuff, and learning some life skills. And I got a really good experience in high school, really great coaches, teachers, have great parents. And, so that was kind of the thing. And I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, though, because growing up in Racine, Wisconsin, you're a little bit sheltered. There's not a huge amount of exposure to the outside world of entertainment and these things. You know what I'm saying? So you don't even know what you don't know so much, but you know that you love people, fun, friendship, and zest. You know what I'm saying? It's just inside of you. I mean, I'm not from the same hometown as Chris Farley, but I went to school in this town and in college, and that energy of just wanting to have that camaraderie and fun is inside me.
That's beautiful. And so you've always had this energy, and being captain of the football team, were you that popular jock in school? Were you at the cool kids table?
Not really. I wasn't some big 250-pound beefy dude. I was the 190-pound wide receiver, kick returner that was just completely insane. But all the cool kids quit the football team senior year because they just wanted to party all the time. And football coaches can be real tough. You know what I mean? They don't mess around. They're strict. And a lot of people, their senior year of high school, they don't want to spend all their time practicing and worrying about this and worrying about not drinking too much or something. And I didn't care, man. I was there. If it was just me by myself, I would be lining up. So that's kind of my thing, is that I want to focus in and do things I enjoy and really be really good at them. It taught me that, I would spend the rest of the seasons playing other sports, in the summer playing volleyball in tournaments and all, to improve my hand-eye coordination and all this stuff, to the point where I was super good, and just really wanting to hone in on stuff I love to do and becoming really good at them. It's you have this laser focus thing or something, right?
Yeah.
And so that was the first time I really experienced that kind of stuff. And then I try to channel that in the other stuff I do.
I think that's great. I think having that throughput, putting in that effort and actually just keeping on going is something that's really important. And I love how you were like, if no one was there, I would line up myself, which is like so much dedication to your craft. Were you as dedicated to like school and stuff? Did you want to be the best with your grades as well if you put that much effort into football and things like that?
Kind of. Like I got pretty good grades. I went to college at University of Wisconsin and I did okay there, but I eventually started having some like memory issues, like brain issues. I got like an illness my sophomore year, and I started having like memory issues. I literally couldn't memorize things or retain information because in college they're like, here's this stack of books this big, and come back in a week and we're gonna have a big old test on it. And you're like, if you can't retain information, you're completely not screwed. Whoa. So I was always really good at comprehension and artistic things. And I was like, why not try to do some like writing and filmmaking stuff? Even though to me, it was like completely insanity. Like where I come from, that's not like even a job or something you would ever do. You know what I mean? It doesn't even exist. People would be like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you, just some like hippie loser? What the hell? What is that? Right. Yeah. And but that's part of the thing is that like even now in Web3 and all this stuff I do, like I don't care if I'm the only person doing it or whatever. I'm going to try to make it the absolutely best I can. And in fact, if you don't want to be on the hype train, like, get the hell out. I don't care. Like I would rather do it myself and enjoy it. And like, it's like reading a book, watching a movie, like just let me live my life and have fun and just do it and do the things that's the thing is I just like applied to be a speaker at ETHDenver. And I know the founders, like I'm going to have like coffee with them this week. And I'm like, why didn't they just put me as a speaker? Because they want me to do it. But I still filled out all the applications. And they're like, what makes you different? What's your speech about? And I'm like, how to like be yourself, how to have a voice, how to like, just love what you do. Like Rick Rubin says, your goal in life should be to be an artist. An artist is like you create stuff like you're writing in your diary. And would you care what anyone else thinks about your diary? No, it's just for you, right? It's just me. And then other people will enjoy it because they can relate to it. But if you make things for other people and care about just like in a transactional, like general way, it's always not going to be good. So even these videos and all the stuff I do, it's all about like, what kind of crazy idea do I have in my head that I would really love to do? And then I go do that. I don't really think like, I want to make other people laugh and enjoy it, but it's through the lens of me. Do I think it's funny?
Exactly. And I love that you like to pursue things that make you happy, because I feel like that's when you do your best work, is when you're actually interested in something. And, like I kind of went through that too, where, I thought I was interested in psychology, so I took college courses before I left high school to do that. And then, by the time it was junior year, I started Miss Teen Crypto, and I was just sitting there like, I can't do anything else. I can't imagine doing anything else with my life except pursuing this. And it's just like this kind of pull that it just makes you go a different route in life. And being in Wisconsin, how did you like end up moving out of there, and what made you pursue what you wanted to pursue? What were your first steps in doing that?
Yeah. You're so good at asking questions. Like, this is exactly what we should talk about. So I was at the University of Wisconsin, and I switched from like a full-time student to half-time because I was having to work a bunch of jobs and stuff, and shift and figure out what I was going to do with my career. And then I decided to do filmmaking, and my friends and I had started making films in this group called Kino, which is around the world. It was like a filmmaking group. And in all the big cities around the world and even smaller cities, people would get together and make films. This is when the digital thing started happening around like after 2000. And people were making amazing short films. Like you could travel around the world and meet friends. And they were making like just beautiful cinema, especially in places like Quebec and French Canada and stuff. It was just a gorgeous artwork they were making. And they would have to rent out like 5 theaters a weekend to like screen these short films, right? Because people just fell in love with making them. And so we were doing all this stuff, and my friends were like improv actors, right? Like Will Ferrell style. And so we ended up making this show, Chad Vader, that became a huge hit. You can Google it. Like the first couple days we got like 20 million views. This is like 2005. And it became a huge hit. And we were on Channel 101 in LA, which is this like new internet TV show thing with Tim and Eric were on it. Like it'd be the beginning of online improv and parody and all the funny dudes. We're involved in that world. We're hanging out and doing that stuff with them, right?
Dude.
And but our show, Chad Vader, blew up huge, and people almost got jealous. We got write-ups up in Wired Online magazine. Like we started getting coverage by all the press, and George Lucas called Aaron and them guys, like the actual directors, and I was like their assistant director producer guy. And George Lucas called him up and wanted to do like TV shows with us and stuff, like for reals. Wow. And it was nuts. It was so crazy. Like we like getting 20 million views in 2005 is like getting 200 million now. Like, or like 1,000 million. Like,
yeah, that's
it was
viral.
I'd never even seen that to that point, really. Like, it was unheard of. And there was maybe one other show like ours that was doing well called Yacht Rock that was getting written up in Rolling Stone. That was cool. But it was amazing, and it was time for like creativity to flourish, right? And everybody on the show was so talented, and I was like, I'm not an actor, I'm not talented like them. These guys are amazing, right? And they still do their shows and their YouTube stuff. That's just what they do. But then I moved to LA to like pursue filmmaking, and I already had been like working on lots of things. And I was working at PBS as their video promo person, making all the 60, 30-second cuts of like hype, like sizzle promos for the granny shows for like, you know, Rosemary and Thyme and all the like murder mysteries in the garden shows, you know, that are popular, and like Antique Roadshow, and trying to make them funny and scary. And
awesome,
I'm trying to get like, you know, because, you know, I know my audience is like sitting at home in the retirement home. I'm trying to get like a jump out of them, like wake them up. And so then I moved to LA, and I get offered all these like jobs at like, you know, the top companies in LA for video promo, all this different stuff, whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to do that though. I want to be out in the field making stuff and like shooting films and like creating, because I don't want to be in an office and just have a job. I know what that feels like. I don't like that. And even though I could have probably done both. What?
Were you in a cubicle?
Well, I mean, and during college, I was in a cubicle doing work as an administrative like person. You know, I was in like the microbiology doctoral training program with Catherine was my boss, and I got to learn a lot of stuff there. But I knew I didn't want that to be my job. I didn't want, and also like when I was at PBS, I'm sitting in a cubicle editing too, right? I'm like, I want to be out there creating stuff, doing things, making things, living my life, flying, traveling, doing stuff, bro. And so I turned down money, jobs, all this stability in LA, which is really hard to get good jobs there. And it's really expensive. People were like, you're nuts. You're completely insane. How would you do that? And then I found out Beck did the same thing. He was like turning down jobs left and right. Like, I mean, well, contracts, because people wanted to have copyright control over his music, and he wanted to have certain control. And it took him like 3 years before he found someone to give him a contract. And then look what happened. He like became one of the most amazing creators of all time. And, but he was willing to have like no money and whatever to pursue that. So then I started doing like filmmaking and commercial photography and producing stuff. And I moved away to Colorado. And it's so funny, Randy. I was in LA working on film sets and doing all this stuff. And it's kind of fun and exciting, but it's a very empty, like exciting. You're excited for like 5 minutes, but then you realize most of your job is really boring, and you're on set 18 hours a day, and you can't make any real friends because the next week you're on a different set and you'll never see that person again. Yeah. And you don't have any time in real life because you're on set all day and you don't even get paid well. And I'm like, this is lame. So I like went to my aunt's ranch in Colorado. She had just bought this ranch, and she is her and her husband at the time, and they were like, hey, we need to like repair this ranch. So I'm like, can I work on your ranch as like a whatever? And they're like, why the hell do you do that? Like, you work in Hollywood. And I'm like, I would rather dig ditches than work in Hollywood. I would rather. And so I was a cowboy for like 2 months and doing cowboy stuff and tearing the ranch apart and like tearing out the fences, getting it ready for the renovation. And I'm hanging out with the cowboys and stuff. I love it. It was so much fun. And they're like, you're a city slicking idiot. And I was like, yes, I am. And because, you know, I don't know how to be a cowboy, but it was like the greatest experience. And so I work with my aunt a lot and do videos with her. I just helped her with the video. She has like world champion Western horses.
Wow.
And yeah, she wins world championships all the time. She's actually really amazing. My Aunt Beverly, she's doing this thing where she's changing the horse industry from being just like male dominated to also the female horses being very important in the bloodline and all how everything's factored in, right? Because right now they only track the male bloodline and care about that and pay for that stuff. But she wants it to be like, well, the female bloodline is part of this too. And so that's her big thing, and she's well respected in the sport, and it's very cool to have like people around like that. And then I moved to Denver or Pagosa Springs, which is kind of near there, and lived like in the mountain towns for a bit, and then Denver. But doing commercial photography and just doing production, like video production, film production for people and advertising. And you know, one week I'd be doing it for some big ass company, like that's one of the top 5 companies in the world, and next week I'd be doing it for just like my next door neighbors, right? Or a wedding or something. So it was this beautiful balance of being able to deliver act, because I realized doing something where you can affect real people, give them amazing photos, have an amazing experience with them, show them the beauty they have, turn people into a rock star, make them look amazing and feel amazing on camera and feel comfortable and amazing about themselves. I realized like that's what I am. That's what I do. Like that's who Doug Hype is. I mean, the Doug Hype real thing was like created for Web3. Like this whole thing is like me in Web3. But for the past 20 years, I've been doing this for my next door neighbors, random tourists, anybody that's around me. I'm like, you're stepping into the Doug zone and you better get ready because it's going to be lit. And I'm turning you into a damn rock star, whether you like it or not. And when we have it's just so much fun. It's so fun to be able to take people who are like nervous and afraid to be on camera, unsure about themselves, unsure about how they look and feel about themselves, even as a person, aesthetically, who they are, their personality. People are very, very insecure their whole lives because they're always in this struggle of like what they think people perceive them as.
Yeah.
And I've always fought against that. And then I even met one of my new bestest friends, Peter Hurley in New York. We did an event at NFT New York together. And his whole thing, he's like a super famous photographer, is cutting that umbilical cord you have, where like it's like you're born being like attached to this idea of like what do people think about me and perceptions and stuff, right? And it's like ingrained in our head, and then we're like trying to cut that off and show you like, hey, look at this, we had this amazing experience, look at this image of you, you're fucking amazing and gorgeous. And people go like, and people just like cry. They're just like, it changes the chemistry
Perception.
and the neurons in their brain. Because like your whole life, I'm telling you right now, Randy, and Peter, we talk about this, me and Peter talk about this a lot because he's working with celebrities and models all day and stuff. And he's like, everyone in the world thinks that they're not attractive. They all have these issues of like, my chin's too big, whatever it is. Everyone struggles with these issues, even if you're like Miss America. And he's photographed every single Miss America pretty much, right? So he knows. And even himself, he was a model himself. And he's like, he thought he had a really messed up chin and he couldn't handle it, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, he's like, my job on this planet is to show you that you're amazing and you're just like, you're a gorgeous person, and like those things in your head are not true. But when you do it with an actual photo shoot or an actual show or an actual thing, it feels real. It just affects you. And I want people to be around that all the time. And that's even where the Doug Hype thing is here. Like, this is me feeling amazing and having a lot of fun, right? And just doing what I do. And I want everyone to do that. I live in Denver, Randy, and Denver's full of people like this. Just the vibe. They just live their life and they love it. And they're at music festivals every weekend and feeling the vibe, or going mountain climbing. And they're just like, let's hit it, bro. And even today, Mark Riblay's coming to town, and I might go crash his little like pop-up show and mess with him and shoot content there. And it's so much fun to be able to do this stuff and live in this creative way, you know?
You should live in a nice creative way. And you were even saying that while you were in Colorado, you were like being a rancher, you were a yeehaw cowboy. I love that. Yeehaw. Did you?
I got my cowboy hat around here.
I was just going to ask that. Please get it. Can you get it?
Let me go look real quick.
Go get it. Oh my gosh, it's like he knew exactly what I was going to say, guys. Guys, if you're here, make sure you guys smash the like, share the stream out with friends. Let's make sure we can get these 100 likes out here. We're about halfway there, even though we just started the show, so we're doing pretty good.
I think it's in my car, Randy. No. I think I put it in my car.
No way.
I can go get it in my car, but like, I put a bunch of my stuff in my car for shooting, you know, for having different costumes and stuff.
So okay, so you had like the whole getup, like do you have the boots? Did you have like the buckle on the belt?
Oh, I have all that somewhere.
Oh my gosh, Doug.
I know, but that's the thing is that like, I'm actually gonna shoot a video where I show like, you know how you have character selection screens in video games to show like the different versions of Doug Hype, and like, do a little bit of cowboy stuff, a little bit of rock and roll stuff with the
Yeah.
guitar and whatever. And so I'm probably going to do a video like that to show people like, yeah, be yourself, have fun, have zest, and also do some other things. Like there's actually a horse ranch like right next door to where I live, and Red Rocks area here. I can go outside and like see horses right now if I want to.
What?
I see ranchers all the time. Yeah, Colorado's great like that.
Dang, man, the only time I see a horse is when they're pulling people around in Central Park, and it's kind of
In
messed
Central
up.
Park,
Like,
you were right there in
and it's
Manhattan.
kind of messed up. It's these poor horses. I feel horrible.
Well, you're welcome to come out to Colorado whenever you want, Randy, and experience the
Colorado.
great God's country.
Yeah, your accent sometimes, I feel like your accent kind of sounds like a Boston accent. That's where I originally thought you were, because you kind of sound like Scott Herman. Like,
Oh yeah, well, Wisconsin is very like Canadian a little bit, you know, like
Yeah.
this Canadian accent.
yeah.
So there's probably a tiny bit of the Boston-y thing in there, maybe, but it's very Canadian. People think I'm Canadian all the time, or from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
You know, don't you know, Minnesota.
Minnesota. So while you were like, being a rancher, you were also producing for big people and small people. And you said you kind of got this balance. Where did you did you feel like you were on the right track still doing that? And were you still like confident, like, okay, like I'm still doing what I want to do and I'm still going to end up pursuing this, because you were kind of like in between things then?
Kind of, but the thing is that like I knew that I wanted to live a really fun and interesting life.
Yeah.
When I looked around at different filmmakers that were successful, who were able to tell an amazing story or do anything cool, it wasn't because they went to film school.
Yeah.
It's because they traveled and did things and had interesting things to talk about. People like Quentin Tarantino, or you name it, Truffaut, or whatever. They all came from like some interesting background, interesting things, traveling Europe, doing whatever, like experiencing the world. Because you need to be able to tell a story and say something worth saying in order to create and make things, right?
Yep.
You can't just sit in LA in your apartment and work 18 hours on a film set. Like, I guess you can, but for me, I was like, I want to go out, and that's the thing too, is when you live in LA, all you do is work all the time. You don't do anything fun. Like, really, if you want to go to the beach, it takes a 3-hour drive just to get through traffic, bro. It's like, come on. So I was like, in Colorado, everyone just goes skiing or mountain climbs all day, and then they do the things they want to do, and then they go to a concert at night, and they have a balance of life of like living a beautiful life that they love living. And it doesn't even matter what happens in their job, if it's going well or not. Well, they don't even care. Like, I mean, they do, but it doesn't really affect them that much. You know what I mean?
That's so nice.
And they're just cool people. It's kind of like the Midwest, but like more fun and more exciting things happening, more sunshine. There's a lot of sunshine here too. People move here because they want to be in that sunshine, climbing that mountain. And I meet so many people that'll be at a rave at 5 a.m. and they're like, "Yeah, bro, what's up?" And I'm like, "What's your deal?" And they're like, "Oh, I just flew in from Detroit. And I partied all night the other night. Then I went mountain climbing all day, and now I'm partying all night, and I'm gonna fly back home." Like, that's the friends I have. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing stopping you from doing what you want to do, living your life and having the most fun. And it just makes people happy. They're just excited. They love life. They're making decisions of what they want to do and not letting anything get in their way. They're working hard towards just that, and then enjoying it. And then you get to be around other cool people that are doing it too. It's like amazing vibe. It's just like, you're like, wow, my life's so amazing, you know? And even now with Mark Riboulet, who is like the Loop Daddy, he's like I was like birthed out of this man, probably. The guy that, I don't know if you know the famous YouTube video where he's like, "Wake up, bitch." And he's like, dun, dun, dun. I play his music all the time on my show. He's got like tons of viral, he's like a big touring act now. And he's driving across country, and secretly, I think he's popping up today in Denver, I think. He left all these hints, and I'm gonna go maybe make some stuff with him. I don't know, but like, this is the kind of stuff in life that makes the life worth living and makes it fun. And that's why, like, I love Web3 and everything, but you got to be living your life, doing everything you can just to fill it full of like fun, exciting things. And Randy, I'm telling you, like, in Web3, I'm very specific with like people I want to work with, and I just go around and go like, wow, this person is so amazing. They're so freaking cool. And like, what you do in your show is like, it's just blows my fucking mind. And mostly in Web3, I'm just bored all the time, you know? And so like, having you around and just being friends with you and stuff is just like, these are the things that make my life like a dream come true. Like, I don't even care about any of the details or how things are done. You know what I mean? Just like, even when you said like, You like being off script and stuff. Like that's what real life is. And if you can do that all the time, you can do amazing things. But people are afraid to do it.
I appreciate you so much, Doug. I really do. And I had the same problem too. And that's why like I was speaking to you like when you first started your spaces, and I said, like, we need good conversation and we need people that aren't boring, because like, you know, sometimes it's the same people, the same things every single day, where we just need some like leeway. We just need to like kind of like you were saying before, spread our wings and fly a little bit. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy that you kind of had that mindset, and that's where I feel like we're very similar. Like we have a lot of energy, but also we're willing to just be ourselves. And I feel that a lot of people, especially when it comes to social media, they feel like they have to be a character and they have to look a certain way, act a certain way, when that's too much work. That's too much work. So I give you a lot of like, you know, props for being you, being yourself, and kind of building up your, you know, repertoire. You're producing, worked with a lot of people, you have experience, and now you're building your own business. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love that. I love that you have that framed right behind you too.
Well, somebody asked me, they're like, hey, are you going to put like a picture of yourself behind you? And literally that night, later that day, I had it all printed out and on the wall. I was like, they couldn't believe it. It was my friend Spike. He's like, I was on the stream with him and he's like, I just told you to do that this morning and it's already there. And I'm like, yeah, bro, that's how it happens in Hype Land. You just dream it and it appears. Cake, whatever you want.
I love that.
That's what's the magic of being a creator, right, Randy? Like we make the things happen.
Shout out to Diamond Hands. He sent his first ever 3 super chats for us.
Diamond Hands,
yes,
buddy.
He did. Thank you, and shout out to Dave and shout out to Mr. Yi. But honestly, I think it's very important to be who you are and go on your journey. And I want to know, when did you originally hear about cryptocurrency? Because obviously this is all going to tie into what you're doing now. So how did you find crypto? How did you first hear about this beautiful space that we're in now?
So back when I lived in Madison, Wisconsin, you know, we're going to school at the University of Wisconsin. This is back before, like right in the beginning of like crypto. I would hear friends of mine talk about like Bitcoin, right?
What year?
And when I first, or the rumblings when it first, I can't, like, what was it, like around 2009 or 10 or something like that?
Yeah, that's when it first started. Yeah.
And talking about it and interested in it, and right in the beginnings, like very obsessed with it, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I didn't really get into it or anything because I was like moving away at the time and going off to LA and stuff, and obsessed with filmmaking. And I thought it was a really cool idea and really interested in technology and stuff. And so I would like follow and listen to these guys talk about it all the time. And I never bought any or anything, but I always thought it was like really interesting. And like, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, why didn't I just buy some? I don't know, whatever. And following it, and then through its whole process of like the Ethereum coming out and just being kind of like watching from the sidelines, not being like super knowledgeable about it, but kind of knowing. And then like back in, I think in 2017 or 18, I think bought a bunch of Ethereum and some other stuff. And then I think I sold it later or something like that too. Oh, so God. I've been around like paying attention and watching it and everything, and just really interested in what it was, just from like a fun standpoint of like being interested. But then when I started seeing NFTs of artwork and photography being sold in the online communities and stuff, and it was around the time of all the hype and everything in the Bored Ape Yacht Club and everything, like 2001 and middle to late 2001-ish. Is when I first started really getting interested in like studying it, learning about it.
So
and then
2021, really, right?
I'm sorry?
2021, right?
2021, yeah.
Yeah.
And I started seeing all these amazing artists, especially photographers, because I'm a photographer, a commercial photographer, and especially like travel stuff, inspirational things that just, I love how things like open my mind to possibilities of what life can be like. And they found their communities and were selling a lot of their artwork online. And it was this beautiful process of curating where they would put up their stuff on like a place like Super Rare, have like their message of like, hey, this is what this art collection's about, what I'm about, like kind of their message to the world. And then their stuff, and people ate it up. It's like they found an organic, beautiful community way to connect to people. And I'm like, wow, this kind of fixes stuff in the art world, because our art's often pretentious, where it's like, oh, you were in this gallery in New York and now we're going to be in this one. It's very much about the superficial parts of stuff in the art world. And I was like, ooh,
Unfortunately.
this kind of gets open to just like pure art and collecting, and I think everyone's gonna love this, no matter who you are. Even if you're a snobby art collector or you're just some random person that just likes cat pictures of cats, you're gonna love this. So then I was like, I gotta go figure out more about this. And then I saw this stuff about ETH Denver, the conference, but I didn't really understand it much of anything. And I was like, it's just like hackers and stuff hanging out. So I was like, I'm gonna go down and just at least check it out and maybe shoot a little skit there. And then I showed up and somebody hired me that morning. They messaged me and they're like, hey, we heard you're the dude in filmmaking that knows about crypto. We want to hire you to do some stuff at ETH Denver. And I was like, cool.
That's so cool.
So I started filming for my friend John Belinsky, who does like he's like an amazing person. He's actually a consultant for like the government in Wyoming now. He's fucking amazing. He's so cool. And so knowledgeable, and that he's actually from like New York, right? And he's like a Brooklyn dude, and it's one of my favorite people that have ever lived. And I was working for him, and he's doing interviews with people, and he's so good at talking to people, you know, being from that area. He's just a good people person. Like anything, any situation, he's amazing at it. He's just cool. And then he's like, Doug, I got to go and do a bunch of meetings. You do the rest of the interviews yourself. And I was like, I don't even know what he does. I don't really completely even understand crypto. How the hell am I going to interview people? It's like I barely know what I'm talking about whatsoever. And then I'm like, all right. So then I'm like, I'm just going to go do it. And I got thrown into that fire of insanity where you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. What I'm going to do, what I'm going to ask them. And when you're in that mindset, your brain just goes like, well, just talk to them like a person. Let them answer the questions. Let them drive it. Like, just ask them very simple questions and pay attention to them and go down that path with them. And that's what I do in my job. And it turned out great. And he's like, how did it go? And I'm like, amazing. I don't know how, but like, it went fantastic. And the thing is that like, that's a special skill or talent or ability where like, either you got it or either you just do it or you don't. And then the next day I showed up looking like this. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do.
That's when you put on the fur coat? That was the moment?
Yeah, the next day I showed up like looking like this.
Wait, please tell me like the whole process. Like, why did you pick the coat? Did the glasses go with? Was the undershirt a sweater? Let me, please tell me.
So the
like,
undershirt was like a fan, like this you see in the picture back here, like the fan. I have like a bunch of fancy shirts.
Because today you were kind of going relax.
Well, this is like my new thing because I got the Crypto Mist sweater and I have the Bitcoin. I wear it in the videos because I'm walking around, it's cold out, and it's just fun. It's a fun thing to visually with the Bitcoin symbol on it for, you know, Web3. Yeah. And it fits the kind of the thing with the fur coat.
Yeah.
And like the whole Dumb and Dumber video I made, it kind of fit that really well. But that's the thing. So that happened. And then I went to my friend's house to pick up another camera because I was going to do a big interview setup with multicams. And I went to my buddy's house and he was like, hey, you should. And I've been talking to him about doing a YouTube show, about doing things where I'm doing a show or some kind of thing. And he's like, hey, you should wear this coat. And he had it in his closet that he used it for like, I don't know, a photo shoot, Halloween or something. But it wasn't something he just wore, you know? Yeah. And I looked at it and I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. And I'm just thinking about it and I'm like, wow. And I'm like, what if I paired this at the time, that day, I put on like a Packers jersey underneath it and sunglasses. So it was like 99% of the way towards like this. And then I filled out and bought like, you know, more like stuff that fits it that are like a little bit more style and more Doug Hype flavor. But then I showed up to the conference and people like literally as soon as I got out of my Uber were just like, who are you? It was kind of like in the video that we're going to watch with Ron Reynolds where I'd walk down the street and they just like stare at me like, whoa, like I'm a pretty girl or something, right? And they're like, who are you? What are you doing? Like they think I'm like celebrity or something, or I don't know what it is. They just are curious. But they would come up to me in this way that was very friendly, fun, engaging, and cool, and just immediately great conversation starting and just friendship happening. And I'm like, wow, that's is so the coolest thing that's ever happened to me.
That's so
like,
crypto.
What? Wow, okay. And I'm like, I'm gonna do this forever now. It's like automatic friends, and it's really great and fun. And then I started to figure out what do I do with this, and I started actually making videos at ETH Denver that were fun and exciting. And a lot of the friends I hang out with now and go in spaces with, like Flu and all these people I met then, and we're like doing like business development and all kinds of big, really impressive stuff in the space. And I got to meet some of the real OGs, real builders in crypto right away and became friends with them. And even like my Sound earbuds that I wore in the video that you guys will see today, I'm wearing this in the video, and that's literally the meeting, I was hanging out with those guys like Flu and Marty Devin, where they like basically decided they were going to make this company. And so, and now they make these like $400 dope headphones and all this other cool stuff with like music, play to listen, earn. So like I just dove in and just became part of like Web3's like OG core thing and all this stuff like immediately, and just a lot of fun. And when Flu found out later that I had been like the producer of Chad Vader, he flipped out because he was like, that is one of my favorite shows of all time. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Because in Web3, people value this like grassroots, doing it on your own, making things outside of the system that are just as good as the system, if not better. But they respect that because they love it because it's real and it feels real to them and it speaks to them, right? And so that's been kind of the process through the Doug Hype thing happening, and then like just jumping in and doing Twitter Spaces and marketing and helping, whatever, just doing anything I could do to help people. It doesn't matter if I can bring you a coffee and a burrito, if I can come and help on your space and whatever. But I'm gonna really go for it. Just like you got the zest, I'm going for it. Like I ain't here just to like sit on my hands. Like, let's really freaking do it. I will kick you in the butt and let's freaking go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if I'm too much for you to handle, that's totally fine because I'm here to get stuff done. All right. I'm not like wasting my life just sitting around hoping things happen. So that's kind of been the process. And it feels like so long ago, Randy. I don't know about you, but even though it's been just a few years, but like, I'm sure with your path and what you've done, just even being a teenager seems like ancient history, Roman Empire.
Roman Empire. That's so funny. I feel like in crypto, 1 year is like 7 years, like dog years almost. So, being here since I was 17, now turning 21 in less than a month, it's definitely like a mind F. You know what I mean? You're just, how did time go by so fast? But it fully, like when you're in it, it doesn't feel like it's going by fast, but the next thing you know, it's just like, oh, almost 4 years in crypto. Like, where did this come from? So I definitely understand your point of view and just kind of immersing yourself in the space and just being like, wow, I'm here. I love this energy and I'm going to keep with it. So you started like, all right, so around 2021, you're engaged in crypto. You got into like this whole conference scene, which is really unique too. And I want to ask you actually, like, how do you feel about professionalism in crypto versus like what you were used to in things like Hollywood and PBS, things that are very structured? And I feel like in crypto, it's a very different the way people run businesses, the way people market and carry themselves. I love the conference scene. I love meeting all the unique characters there. But yeah, what are your feelings there?
I immediately started going to a lot of conferences. I was in Miami, Amsterdam, and like
That's how it starts.
NFT New York. And I did an event at NFT New York on a rooftop with Peter Hurley. It was like a dream come true. And but it's different. Like the tech world, crypto is different because anybody at home on their computer can just start up a project, or they come from the finance world. When I was in LA, people would come from New York and be like, hey, I worked on Wall Street, but I want to work in Hollywood because Wall Street wasn't great for me or something, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, welcome to Wall Street Part 2, because it's like the same thing. Now, in filmmaking, there are like certain procedures and the way you do things and certain professionalism, right? So like, you learn how to work on a set and you learn how to work with other people and how to do it right because you got to work fast. It's like being in the military. You got to go, and the equipment's precious. You can't mess things up. You have to do things a certain way. It's like a combination of like manual labor and very fine art at the same time going on, and you're doing it fast. Like you used to practice. They used to have these dark bags where you take like the film canister, the magazine off the camera, and if you're like the second assistant camera person, you take it off the camera and you like do the changeover to the new thing in the dark bag without being able to see it, and you try to like test yourself how fast you could do it on a film set because you're just losing money every second that you can't like flip it over to the new thing and do it correctly, because if you mess up the old reel, you lose like millions of dollars, right? So it's tough. Yeah. And then now we have digital and stuff and everything, right? But in essence, it's really like a challenging art form. And so you're used to certain procedures and people actually being really good at what they do if you're working on legit stuff. When I go into Web3, the difference is that like most people have no idea what they're doing or even how things are done or how to treat other people or how to communicate or do anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So other than that, they're very similar because people are very like in filmmaking, they feel like they can get away with a lot of stuff too, where they'll like make a film and not pay you, or or they're only in it to just make their name. Usually they're just making in it to make their name. They want their name next to director, producer, so they can tell people they're director, producer, get in all the parties, do the things. That's what they care about. They don't care about you, or like, and when I was in LA, there's multiple people that like died on film sets because they didn't have the right permits and they messed up and made bad decisions because they just didn't care. They don't care about, there's like a joke about throw another PA on the fire, being like, they're like basically like, just throw them to the wild and see if they come back and survive. Because the directors don't care about them. They care about their name and being in big lights. So even the people starting out, like their first directing thing and nobody knows who they are, there's a famous thing in Variety in the magazine. You'll see a guy and his wife, directing, producing team. They did a film and the train came along the tracks and they didn't think it was supposed to at that time. And it hit a metal thing on the tracks and spliced it in half and it shot out and like killed somebody, right? And the dude went to jail, or they put the wife in jail because she was a producer. And the director's like, I'm going to be the savior, put me in jail instead. But he was the actual producer director. She wasn't making decisions. He was. Yeah. But he pretended he was like the angel swooping in to save the day.
Oh, gosh.
And so like everybody on the film was like commenting on the online post being like, there's like thousands of comments from the crew being like, you're a liar, you're evil. All because so like now in Web3, we have some of that where like we have to be careful about we're giving our money to and our time and attention because we don't really know like who they are, what their intentions are. So I've been around the block for years and decades dealing with this stuff. And so for me, it's all about long-term relationships, being friends with people, and doing things in a way that's going to generate good things and creativity and supporting people and not being like that. That's the thing that's funny about the Doug Hype persona is I kind of play this idea of a fun celebrity, almost like douchey guy, but like it's supposed to be a joke, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a parody of people you see on social media because yes, do have fun and do that and be awesome and have Riz, but like, I'm not the dude out there copying all the same stuff on social media. Oh, the thing now is give everybody a bunch of money. Oh, you're homeless, here's some money. Okay, now get views on my thing. I don't just go out and like
so much.
I don't go out and just do the things and like be, you know what I mean? They're not being themselves really. They're just copying everyone else. So like, it's fine to do that. But like when that's the overarching thing, it's like, come on, bro. So I want to do new things, have fun, inspire people that are watching and stuff. And you'll see if we play the video from this week that like,
I'll play
complete moron. I'll spend 3 straight days shooting and editing a video with no sleep just because I want it to make people laugh.
That's beautiful. I can play it right now. Let's play it. So I can't. Okay, I can only play up to 30 seconds for the sake of copyright and YouTube, like YouTube and such. It's a whole battle I'm going through with copyright. I'm going to show you.
Can we put a link to the full version so they can go check it out, like in the comments?
Yeah, I'm going to grab the link to the tweet first.
So you guys, this is a really exciting video for me because I am putting myself in movies and doing really fun special effects and stuff. And I like to create this world where like anything can happen. It's like the world of Web3, video games, all this stuff. It's the world I want to live in, that I want all of our lives to be like, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to watch some of it, but I'm also going to do a thing where like for you guys, if you go and comment on the tweet and give some shout outs to Randi, maybe tag her in it and stuff, I'll give out like some heavy extraction packs from Shrapnel, which they're like the street price on them is like $100 or something. And but you can't trade them, but you can use them to play in the game, and it's going to be a super good game. It's going to be awesome and fun, and it unlocks the beta testing. I'll be going to do a bunch of giveaways. I'll probably give away like monies too. I just want to reward you for promoting Randi and taking her on my thing because she's the best. And we want more of this zest and friendship to be in Web3. It's very important.
I agree.
Important to us.
I agree. Okay, your link is in the live chat.
The community here is amazing.
Yes, they are. They're amazing. Okay, so let's take a look at the video. Like I said, I can only play 30 seconds out of the full minute and a half for the sake of copyright and YouTube coming after me. But here it is, and it's so good. It's so good. Okay. Oh, we have more memberships? Is this happening? Oh, I don't know why that's coming through right now. Okay.
Oh, people are signing up for things?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's replaying all these other memberships. All right, I'm turning the alert box off.
Okay, while she's doing that, make sure you guys like do some super chats and like let's get Randi some super chats. You know what I'm saying? Like get in here. Get some
let's
super stickers.
let's
Maybe
get
I'll
it.
do one right now.
Yeah, get after
Right?
it. All right, let me play the video and 30 seconds. Doug, you won't be able to hear it, but I'll let you know when it's finished. Okay, go.
Today in Hypeland, it appears that things are happening next to the thing in the doohickey and where that lightning was crashing.
Wow, life in Hype City ain't nothing like that.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Zest. I'm your host, Randi Hipper, here today on a lovely Monday. Yes, we're celebrating the beginning of the week because as we should, right? And then that's where the copyright kicks in. But
Yeah, and there's a big reveal. There's crazy stuff that happens right then too.
yeah, it's awesome. Ryan Reynolds is in it, so make sure you guys check that out. It's a really
You're gonna be freaking out. You're gonna be like, what the hell is happening?
I wish I could play it. It's so sad that I can't. But we also have the tweet. So this is the full tweet there where the space is tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. So around this time tomorrow, if you guys go check that out, the spaces link is right here. So you guys could go check that out, set your reminder like I just did. And we'll be there, we'll be square and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm happy that you started doing your space. I know that this is episode 11. So why did you decide... Oh, the wrong one. Why did you decide to start these spaces?
Well, I've been doing spaces a long time, and my whole goal is to have a show or do things where it's like a lot of fun, and I can do what I do. I love hosting. I love talking about things and having like the community friendship and stuff. And I love gaming because it's fun, and I love sports too, you know?
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking, I'm always trying different angles and trying stuff out and trying different videos, trying different YouTube stuff and just trying things out. And it's kind of been a lot of like, I guess, really good practice. Like, you know how like really good YouTubers, especially the ones that do like typical content, not live shows, but typical content, they'll do like 500, 1,000 videos before they get traction, before people really like their stuff. Because it takes a lot of time to work out. How does this really work well? What's really funny to people? How does my system work? Like, it's not easy to do. It takes a lot of time and effort. So I've been doing all that kind of stuff. And I was working with Owned. And I was on the phone with Spike, and I'm always like doing things like, hey, how can I help? What can I do to be helpful to you, to showcase what you're doing, to support? And then on this phone call, he was like, hey, how about you like launch a Twitter show and we'll support you? And he's like, we'll shoot you out of a cannon. It'll be fun and exciting. And I was like, oh, yeah. This is exactly what we need to do. So like having the support of people like Spike and Icy and these people that are like OGs in Web3 gaming and well-known, huge followings, but really amazing, wonderful people that do the work to go around and support people. They're commenting on your posts. They're showing up on your shows to support you, even though they have barely any time. They're just the most amazing freaking people. And I was like, wow, if you guys are going to support me, show up and hang out, like this is going to take off like a rocket ship because I can do all the rest. Like, it's like handing me the baton at the beginning of the race and I'm going to run the whole rest of the race. And you can just throw a hook onto me and let's go. Right. And Spike's like, you're the guy to do it. I know you can. It's going to be fun and exciting. He's like, you're the best at this. And I was like, oh, they actually realize that they see I can do this and know, because often in Web3, the problem is nobody has that connection of understanding or seeing what other people can do. Everyone's just kind of in their own lane, just bumping their head in the wall. And so then that started, and I went to like Shrapnel and I'm like, hey, I'm going to launch this show. And I've been around them and hanging out with them and stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah, we like you. We want to be a part of what you're doing. And we want to be like part of your success and stuff. And I was like, okay, having these guys in my corner is just the magic seed I needed to grow, like the magic bean plant up to like the treasure house or whatever, right? Jack and the Beanstalk. And I'll climb it. And I've barely slept since that day. I've spent 20 hours a day, every day of work, putting in the business development, the things to like, how should the show be? And then thinking about like, who else do I want on my show other than those guys? And for some reason, I was like, I don't even remember how it happened, but I was like, it'd be really cool to have like Risk Team Crypto Randy on the show. You've got so much energy and zest. That'd be cool. So then you came on the show and I was like, wow, you're so fucking great. Just amazing. Like, oh, it just makes my life just fantastic. I can't even handle it. And then I was just like, I literally was on the show. I was like, please come back. You're the fucking best. Like, oh my God. And I wanted to create a show that was actually fun because I think Twitter's boring as hell. I want it to be fun and exciting and full of friendship. And also it's about gaming. And I do play these games with my friends and I do that. That's part of my life. I have like a whole gaming rig and I feel that Web3 gaming is going to push Web3 into like everyday life of people. I really believe things like Shrapnel are going to do that. And I want to help that along. I want to be part of the reason that happens in a good, wholesome way. Not like, hey, go buy all these coins, but it's like crypto's great and wonderful. The technology, there's great things about the communities and stuff, and everything's going to turn out fantastic. And gaming is going to be awesome. All the stuff that you preach. And so that's how the show started. And immediately I started making crazy graphics, making like, you know, the Pixar version of people and sending it to you, making the graphics and stuff. And then I knew I planned on making all these crazy videos and hopefully putting my friends in them too. But it's the videos are the big production's a lot of work. So eventually I got that going, got the videos going, and trying to do something that's innovative and different where people just go, oh, wow, what the heck is that? Wow, that's crazy. That's amazing. That's all my goal is, just to do that. And I have other goals too, but that's really the goal. And if I can do that, then people will pay attention and be like, this is fun. That's how Mr. Beast and everyone operates, right? He's like, I'm going to blow up this Lamborghini and then 10 more. And you're like, what? You don't even know who's going, what's happening, but you're just like, I'm going to watch this Lamborghini blow up. Okay. That's the magic of like doing something interesting and zesty. And then behind it, you really care about people and want to do good things and have fun with your friends. And that's really the great benefit. But other people aren't going to be interested if you're not entertaining and exciting and fun. And so Twitter needs that. I hang out with like Alex Finn a lot, and he comes on the show, and I love him because he's always like, stop being boring. Everyone on Twitter is boring. He's like, number one rule, just don't be boring. Yes. There's other things you can do too, but just stop being boring. Actually say something meaningful and real. And the thing is, when you're saying something meaningful and real and people connect to or funny, it comes from a real place of you experiencing things, of you living your life and like experiencing something and being relatable about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's the people that are unrelatable and not connected and just doing dumb things and like just being an NPC that just, they got nothing to say that means anything. So they just copycat everybody. They just say dumb things and they think it's funny. And I'm just like, dude, like I'm high value up here. Okay. I'm Doug Hype. Look do you see this man right here? Like that's a high value person.
Gorgeous.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you do that, and you leave, and it's like when you're playing football and you're like, hey, kick me the ball, I'm going to catch it. And I don't care if 10 guys are coming to tackle me. In fact, I prefer that. Can you have your whole team there ready to go? Let's go. Line them up. Let's do it. I'd rather run right at the missile than away from the missile. I can see the missile. I know there's a missile, and I can control my destiny and what happens. If you run away from the missile's in control. You're not in control. You're just blind. You're like, I don't know what to do. Run at the missile like Tom Cruise. Jump out of the plane, run at the missile, right? I'm probably going to jump out of a plane this week too, or something like that, or go to Miami, something crazy, right?
That's nice.
We talked about jumping out of planes and stuff.
Yeah, I want to jump out the plane too, so I'm with you.
We're going to jump out of planes and do things. And Randy, you're on the same level as me. I think when it comes to this stuff, we're like, let's jump out a plane. Let's just do fun
really
things.
Do.
Like,
I'm not joking. I almost did. I almost got
If you look at my browsing history, it's all like looking at places to jump out of planes.
Oh my gosh, I want to do it so
And it was like been 0 degrees out here. It was like -20 wind chill, and I was still thinking about doing it, you know?
That's insane.
But like, why not? I want to see Doug Hype jump out of a plane in a fur coat because I think that'd be like silly and funny. Like it makes me laugh.
That would be hilarious.
So whatever.
Big fan.
Why not? I'll do it. You know, Brains I talk to, I'm like, oh, let's jump out of a plane. So that's the thing is like, I'm the person I'm willing to do it first. I'm willing to put my toe in the water, jump in the deep end and just do it. Because I know that not only is it necessary, but I'm going to learn from that experience. In filmmaking, you want to be the first person doing stuff. You want to try stuff out and do new things, experience things. And then people go like, oh, that's cool. And they enjoy what you do. If you don't do anything that makes any impact or people care about, no one's watching your stuff. So like in crypto, we're always trying to do the same old things over and over again and acting like it's important. Like, oh, I have this thing. And it's like, no, I'm like, I don't care, man. Like you gotta be doing something that I care about. But if you do, and you build and you do good things, I will love it to death, like so much. And I don't know about you, Randy, but I sit around all day, like nervously worrying, like that, making sure my friends are okay, making sure everyone's happy, things are going well. Hey, like, I want to put you in my video. Is that okay? Like, I just want to do cool stuff with you. That's the things I think about in my head that like give me almost anxiety because though I know those are the things that make me happy. Like those are what I want to do, cool things with my friends. I'm not worried about all the other silly things in life that typical people might be, or people on Twitter Spaces. I don't care, man. Like, yeah, you have an NFT project, that's cool, or you're selling hot sauce, fine, whatever. Cool, good, yeah, more power to you. But you know what I care about? Let's go jump out of a plane and do something crazy. Let's go to a rave and have fun and party till 7 in the morning and just dance. You know, like that's what I want to do with my life.
I love
That's what I do, Randy, all the time.
Woo!
Ain't nothing stopping me.
I want to rave.
Yeah, we're gonna rave, Randy. We're gonna do some things. We'll have some fun. Whatever. I'll come out to New York. I don't care.
Yeah, pump it up, pump it up.
Pump it up. Gotta pump it up. Don't you know? But that's part of the reason that conferences are fun, because often there are raves that go till like 4 in the morning, like Amsterdam and stuff.
Dude, people are nuts at crypto conferences. They love to stay out. It's like all the nerds just get released, and it's like they just go. It's
like the coolest one. It's the coolest like subset of the nerds that want to go out and like rave.
Yeah,
because rave culture is amazing. I'll tell you what, the vibe that we're talking about now, and a lot of it's here in Denver. I'm telling you, Denver is just flourishes with it, because people move here to be in the sunshine and then rave at night. And it's just about friendship and supporting people and good vibes. I have so many DJ friends, and I just love it so much, Randy. Like, I can't get enough.
That's gorgeous. So I want people to follow you, find you. So where are the best places to look for you, Doug?
I'm that damn tweet, Randy, on Twitters. Now, I do have an Instagram and stuff too, and I do those things on YouTube. But Twitter is where I live, because you can do whatever you want. I can put copyrighted stuff in my videos if I want to. But I would love to see this, because this is the thing, Randy, especially if you guys go raid that tweet right now and put a bunch of zest on it. We're going to talk about this on the show Wednesday a lot. All right. This Wednesday, tomorrow, Randy, we're going to be talking about zest and community and this stuff like crazy. Like, people are going to get sick of us. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about like the Zesty fam and Monyays. And Monyays and all, because like when I talk about things and I like blow stuff up, I'm like, Randy's the best and your show is the best on YouTube. I am not mincing words. I am telling you the truth, okay? I will come to your house, knock on your door, give you cake, and be like, let's go watch Miss Teen Crypto. Yeah. Because I don't want to watch some other TV show or stream Netflix. I want to watch that. It's so entertaining. I don't even remember what you're saying half the time. I don't even care. Like, you could be talking about elves in Christmas Town or whatever it is. I got my popcorn ready and I'm like, oh, this is exciting. Like, let's see what happens next on this show. And I know the community is here for it. You know what I'm saying? This is what we need. When I talk about people like Pat McAfee, you could have a show about almost anything. Sports are fun, but like making it fun and exciting about the culture, the people, the language, the things we like, how you treat your buddies. You know, I'm sure like it's like that where you live in New York. You riz your friends, and it's always like high energy and good fun. And that's what we need. And I love it so much. And I want people to follow me, and I will follow them back too and be part of my community. I don't have 1 million followers because I don't go down that road of being like, everyone follow me, do the thing, I'm in whatever. But if you like what I do, I want to be your friend. I really do. And I want you to DM me. I want you to talk to me. I want you to come on our show on Wednesday on the Twitter Spaces and come up there and get some riz out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the show, Randy, is structured. We have all these big name Web3 people and big name games. But the reason that exists is because when you come up and hang out with those people, you get to be around and seen by people that are the top level of Web3 gaming. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Mark's there tomorrow from Taffy Streams, that dude used to be a producer at ESPN. You know what I'm saying? These are the people I want around me to make my life better, to inspire me to be better and learn from them and have their riz. And I want that I want everybody to be doing that all the time. And that's the reason the show is like that and structured that way. And I love my life so much. I like moved into this beautiful new apartment by Red Rocks. I get to hang out with all my friends all the time. And even though I work 20 hours a day, but my life's amazing, Randy. And I know you work really hard and you're such an amazing person in this space. If there's one thing that I want to do by the end of this year, 2024, okay? For me, my goal is I want to have a big ass Pat McAfee type show or a big thing. And I want to do more things with you, Randy. However that looks, however I can do to help, whatever I can be part of Randy's world, like I will be there in a second. Like I am completely obsessed with how like there's just so much good vibes and like synergy and like similarity of everything. Like it makes me just really happy. When I wake up in the morning and turn on my phone, I just get flooded with happiness and I can't control it. It's just everybody needs this in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people out there that are like, self-help or get a therapist and all this stuff in your life. And I'm like, yeah, you can do that. Or you could just turn on YouTube and click in Miss Teen Crypto Randy and then and get your life on track. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's freaking go. Let's get zesty. Let's get some sauce. When you showed the sauce and your cookies, I'm dead. I'm here going like, why do you live 1,000 miles from me, Randy? This is not okay.
I know. I would feed you.
I need one of them cookies.
I would feed you. I would.
My life is about cake, cookies, desserts, pastries, and spaghetti sauce, the sauce and the stuff, whatever you're making. Yeah. I'm telling you, that's what I make too. I make all this Italian stuff and basic bakery goods.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry. I have all the good foods. And if I'm not making it, then someone else is making some really good stuff between the bakeries and the Italian delis and just like all the, oh my gosh, it's just so amazing. Like there's really nothing like
this
it.
Is also, I need to find a bakery or somewhere in the area so I can just send you cakes randomly during the day, okay?
That would be so
I said that I'm in public, so now you have to do it.
That would
it's going to be expected of you. The community is going to be like, you must do it.
Yeah,
I don't even have to know where you live or anything. All I need to know is like some place that can deliver. I'll just Uber it. I don't care.
I'll Uber it.
I'll Uber it over there. I'll have them. They'll make them wear white gloves when they hand it to you. Okay.
That's so fancy.
You saw in the video. I actually am delivering people cake in my hype city. You know, in front of like the golden like statues. You know, and instead of giving them the key to the city, I'm like, here's the cake to the city, bruh.
And I think cake is so important. I think we should give cake instead of keys to the city. You know, I feel like people will be more happy with a cake, you know, instead. And I love cake. I'm a big fan of cake. I'm a big fan of food in general. And I love to cook the foods. I love to bake the foods. And I love to share the foods. And you're always sharing some good knowledge. And Doug, I thank you for sharing your time with me today because this was like a really insightful episode. And we got to learn a lot about you. And I learned a lot of things that I didn't know about you, Doug. And this is what it's all about.
I learned about myself too.
Yeah, and that's as you should, self-discovery, because, you know, we have like a lot going on in crypto and, you know, a lot of people just hear you talking about, you know, what's going on in Web3 this, crypto that, which Web3 game we're talking to now. But like a lot of people just don't know who you are, Doug. And I want when your big show pops off and when you get famous and you're definitely not going to forget about me, we're going to look back on this episode and people are going to go back to this episode and be like, who is Doug and how did he get to in crypto, where he got to spaces and beyond that. So I feel like this is a historical episode. It's like an NFP, a non-fungible podcast. And I'm very bullish on you, Doug. I'm bullish on the spaces. I'm bullish on gaming. And as we are closing out here, I want people and to hear a message from your heart. I want you to speak from the heart, Doug. Tell me, if you could share any message with the world, it could be about being a cowboy. It could be about your favorite cowboy outfit. It could be about cake. It could be about Web3. What would you like the people to know?
I want you to go out there and do something for yourself. Get yourself a fur coat, maybe something like this. This one was free. I didn't even purchase it. These sunglasses, I could have bought literally Louis Vuittons. I can afford it, but these are like $20 sunglasses off Amazon. They're just my favorites. I have some from Miami Beach too. They were like $40. Go out and do the things and have the Riz and make your life how you want it. Have fun, enjoy it. Go after it hard. Find people in your city that are doing cool stuff. Go to a sneaker store. Go somewhere and just be like, oh, I love this. I'm into it. Go on Instagram and find cool stuff. Just go do it. Live your life. Be happy. Because when you do, and then you share with others and come on our show or do whatever, you're going to be so amazing. You're going to be the best version of yourself. You're going to be fantastic. And I'm going to enjoy that so much. Like I'm going to enjoy you through your enjoyment. And that's what I'm all about. And that's why, Randy, you're just like the best. Cause it's just like nuclear energy of that. Right. I want, if everybody in life was doing this, just imagine how your life would be. You just be around amazingness all the time, every day, all day, and come hang out. Like, and if anybody out there has any questions about content creation, finding your voice, I'm going to go speak about it. I think at Eat Denver about it. DM me, ask me questions. You get success in life by asking for things. Hey, can I ask you some questions? How do you do this? And it helps you get on your path of feeling that support. Hey, Doug actually supports me in this. Randy supports me in this. Go for it, bro. Like, I'm probably going to build out a whole platform and helping people do that, helping people speak in public and stuff. So that's my message. Go do it, interact, DM, make amazing friendships, and go at it hard, Randy, because those are the only friendships worth having.
That is beautiful. That is like a great way for us to leave off today, go into the zesty abyss of the metaverse and how all of this is really amazing. And it's a great time to be in crypto. So thank you guys for joining me. If you haven't yet, take your crypto off of the exchanges, take self-custody with your crypto, with your gaming assets, with your value, with your freedom. You are in control. You are the one that's directing your life, and no one's going to make it for you but you. So get on that journey and do things that you enjoy, which is something that I really enjoyed that Doug dove into today. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the good vibes, the zest, the hype, the zype. If you haven't yet, make sure you guys comment zesty on that post right there for the spaces tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, the Hype Space, episode 11, historical. Make sure if you haven't yet, you smash the like, you subscribe to the channel, and share the stream out with friends so more people know who Doug Hype is and how he got the hype from within, and who he was before Web3. I will see you guys tomorrow at 9:45 a.m. for the Daily Zest, Monday through Friday. Got you guys. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. And as always, stay zesty. Peace.